All right. I'm setting my timer. Hold on.
Oh, well,
55 minutes. Ain't that right?
55.
55 minutes. Karen, how are you?
I'm so good.
Glad you finally made it.
Yeah.
Glad you got out of the broom closet.
Yeah. I went to the wrong place. I do that.
I told her, I said, just come in, go all the way down the hallway and keep veering to the right. And, you know, and you'll
you
come
get
back
to the end of the hall, you open up, it's the storage closet.
I didn't know you was going to go in a door.
She just kept walking.
I just kept walking.
What do you think over there?
I'm thinking it's Monday. It has been a Monday for me. It's been like a double Monday.
I know we usually do this on Monday afternoons.
I've got like 4 appointments today, and
yeah, the whole mood's different. I don't know if you can
is.
feel the whole mood's different. After a day of dealing with what I do during the day, coming up here is kind of a little bit of a break, but I'm right in the middle of it right now. I've been on my phone ever since I got
outside too.
Is it still raining?
Mm-hmm.
It's not raining. It just looks. Yeah.
as Snoop Dogg would say, it's a drizzle.
Oh, Lord. You just come back from vacation?
Yeah, I did. I went to the beach. It was good. It was good.
Brought the whole fam?
Yep.
Where'd you go?
We went to Orange Beach.
Nice.
A lot of people went to
Orange Beach is the place to go.
Is it? I've never been. I've been through there, but I've never vacationed there.
It's a little bit shorter than Florida, and I mean you can zip right down there. It's a really good drive, and it's a nice part of the beach. I like going to Orange Beach.
Yeah, it's just family oriented.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we don't really have to worry about anything. You're still in Alabama, so it seems.
Not as big as Panama City Beach.
Nowhere
There's
near.
a lot more going on in Panama City.
It's quieter. It's quieter at Orange Beach. Gulf Shores, Orange Beach.
Kind of like a Fort Walton vibe. Because, you know, you got Destin, and then you got the bridge that separates Destin from Fort Walton. It's like Destin's loud, Fort Walton's like a retirement community.
Yeah.
Now, I really like Pensacola.
Why?
Well, it's a military town. I really feel safe there.
The sea monsters come up. We're
Just
protected.
because it's a military town.
I do like people live there, retire there. Now, it's only 6 hours to drive there.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Straighter shot than Orange Beach?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you just hit 65 all the way down almost to Mobile and then take a left and go through, what is that? Foley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a straight
It's
shot.
an easy drive to Orange Beach, but Pensacola is, so we stay at a hotel there in the spring typically, and you can walk everywhere you go.
Okay, that's a plus.
And that's cool.
I like going further down Gulf Shores and getting down there where it's even quieter and less crowded,
Yeah.
where you can get your own place and the beach is quiet. It's just, where you been? See, you ain't got your brace on.
No, I do. It's still.
Oh, do you?
It's still there. Be glad when I get it off. So yeah, I mean, just taking it easy. I can't do much, so what I can do, I try to be good at it. And sitting seems to be working fine for me.
Professional sitter.
If I get hurt like this, then I'm just meant to be hurt. I don't know. So yeah.
Well, I haven't had a vacation, and I hadn't been just sitting around much as I'd like to. I think I was on my feet for about 8 days straight with the fair in town. You know, the 10-day fair that we have here now.
Yeah.
Always love seeing it show up, but I always love seeing it go too.
Right.
But it's great weather for it. I had a good time, and I don't even think we had that many incidents.
I was fixing to ask you, did y'all hear of what our numbers were like this year for the fair?
As far as
how many attended?
calls, or
No, as far as how many attended the fair.
No.
Did you?
Oh man, I could be pulling this from somewhere, but I thought somebody said around 170,000 is what they thought came to Lawrenceburg due to the fair. Now, did they actually go? You know, what do you call it? Patron the fair? I don't know, but within the 10-day period, 170,000 came through or two because of the fair. So I don't know.
Well, I
No.
did good. I didn't spend any money. I mean,
What? Everybody
No.
buy your stuff?
no, I didn't buy. Well, I mean, just
That's
food.
what they do. They see the sheriff and buy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, now that she's growed up over there, it's a lot cheaper to go to the fair.
Oh, he's not buying your stuff?
I'm thinking to say, I know you didn't stop.
I didn't
Was he
spend
cheap?
any money on any of the games. I didn't spend my last penny on the alligator girl. I didn't play the crane machines that I'm known
alligator girl.
to. She wasn't even there this year. I don't guess she's been there in a long time.
That?
What did you not eat?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Other than food, yeah, I spent money on food.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as the other stuff at the fair,
Okay, well, something I think is so cool about the fair is, you have Kiwanis Parking Cars, and that's one of their major fundraisers,
Right.
which they give back to our community. You have so many of those vendors that are, like the Lions Club and, the Etheridge Volunteer Fire Department and like all these things, and they all give back to our community. So the thing is really, if we didn't have the fair, a lot of our community charities would be hurting. And I do appreciate and love that.
I agree. I'm pretty sure I put that lady's children that had the lady's got the corn on the cob. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure I've paid for some college. Pretty sure I've paid.
you eat that corn. I say I don't do the corn on the cob.
Oh, that and then the hand dipped corn dogs.
Oh yeah.
And I don't eat corn dogs in public. I don't
In
eat
public.
I don't eat cob corn on the cob, or corn dogs in public. I'm sorry, I don't.
Really? Mm-mm. You eat ice cream?
Nope. I didn't even get a funnel cake
What the
this
heck
year.
do you eat?
Goodness. I mean, does
All I hear is the sheriff didn't support. That's what I hear.
Well, we try to eat every night or every time we're up there. Generally during the fair, we're up there for lunch and we'll grab something. Then we're back in the evenings when we're up there making sure everybody's behaving. We'll grab something. But we try to hit all the vendors. We try to get something from every
Okay,
vendor
Pat's
up there.
Cafe.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Okay.
And I'm more of a, you eat so much of that stuff. I mean, not saying anything bad about fair food, but it's not that great for you. So I kind of go for the soups and stews and chilies and that kind of stuff.
You could have ate a steak at Dawson's.
I did.
I ate that twice.
I was too.
But I'm
busy
trying to
with
cut
corn
down on
dogs.
red meat, y'all. I'm trying.
Why?
You need to
I don't think that's true. I think you should keep with the red meat.
Okay. So you're cutting down on red.
You want to see me? You want to see me in the ICU unit with my chest busted open?
Let me tell you something to make you feel better, okay? From the time we started beating people in the heads with clubs to about the Civil War, do you know what the average age of a human being on Earth was? It was 30 years. Between the Civil War up until about the 1920s, it was 35 years. Since the 1920s till today, the average lifespan for especially American male is 76 years. Well, think about it. Back then, they were all organic, eating a lot more vegetables and stuff than we do now, and they wasn't living as longer. Eat what you want to. We got
He's
medicine.
forgetting, Karen.
We got
that
medicine.
They discovered penicillin in the 40s.
What? But still, through advances of science, we can eat what we want and live longer.
Well, I had a guy say
Well,
something.
it also took them like a million years to get to a doctor or.
Utilize.
I had a guy tell me the other day, an older guy, and I said, "How you been?" He said, "Man, I've been good. I've been retired." He said, "I tell you something, though." He said, "If I'd known I was going to live this long, I'd took better care of myself."
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do. So
Okay.
give me a pat on the back
All
instead of
right,
giving me a hard time.
All right.
And relax. Don't be so. Enjoy a little red meat every now and then.
Let's talk about domestic violence instead of red meat and my cholesterol. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
A domestic violence awareness month.
All right,
yes.
let's hear about it.
Yep.
Tell us what all entails with Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Since
Yeah. So Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we do a whole campaign. We really start in September to try to get the word out. So Domestic Violence Awareness Month for us, and the reason we do a campaign is most people can remember I mean, I would say 5 to 10 years ago, no one knew we had a domestic violence shelter. Even me. 10 years ago, I didn't know we had a domestic violence shelter. So the reason for our campaign is we really want people to know that there's help out there, because obviously y'all know this is, while we can talk about numbers and how many people call for help and how many domestics and all those things, there's so many more people that never reach out to law enforcement but that need help. So we want people to know, hey, here's the number to call. Here's some resources. Call us. We can help you navigate it, that sort of thing. So, yeah, so we try to have businesses, individuals to put out signs saying we support the shelter. And, you know, the whole goal of that is really, if you see a bunch of purple signs around, you're like, what's the shelter? What is this? That's really the goal of the awareness.
And not only purple signs, but purple pumpkins.
Well, okay.
I've set out a bunch.
We had a situation a few years ago with the purple pumpkins. Pumpkins had a bad, I don't know, harvest. It was
okay.
the bad, and so they rotted on us.
Oh, ours did great. I loved it.
Yeah. Well, after that year, I said, okay, I've dealt with enough rotten pumpkins.
Okay.
So.
I wondered why I ain't seen many of them. But,
So now we just have signs, shirts, sweatshirts, and then we actually have 2 golf tournaments. So we've already had our golf tournament in Pulaski. It went really well. So Pulaski's golf course is only a 9-hole course, so we had 18 teams, so we were full because we have a new shelter in Pulaski, so we have 2 locations now. So anyways, we've had our golf tournament over there, and then we have our golf tournament actually this Thursday in Lawrenceburg, which is supposed to not rain on Thursday. It's supposed to rain up until Thursday.
Well, I'll be there, but I'll be coming in hot. I'll be coming in from Franklin, so I might break a speed limit or 2 trying to get back down here in time to get to the golf scramble.
I don't know if anyone's giving you a ticket.
Yeah.
that would be hilarious.
I'd pay it. I'd just pay it. I'd say, can I pay it online? But y'all do more. I think the majority of people in our line of work and pretty much all of our first responder family in this community know who you are and they know what you do. But as far as the general public goes, I think that there's probably a lot that don't know who you are and what you do.
Right.
Didn't you start the same year that I got elected?
2018.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I can remember the old office and the old, what was that? What was the name of that thing that you had where you had some inmate labor come down there and help paint and stuff? That wasn't your office. Was that your office there, where you also took in donations and stuff? That's right, it was. So I'd never met Karen. I'd never heard of the shelter, and I forget how we met. I don't know if we was introduced or I don't remember how.
Well, you became the sheriff and I became the director of the domestic violence shelter, so we needed to meet.
Yeah. Yeah, so it kind of worked out, and then so we've been together the whole way since she started and since I got elected. And I told this story when I spoke at your fundraising event a couple of years ago, that I was domestic violence ignorant. You know, I didn't know. I'd never seen a domestic violence incident until I started working at the sheriff's department as a young deputy. And I told the story about that first domestic that I ever went to. And I was like, people really get mad and beat each other up over, something. So anyway, I realized how important it was, because now we have her and we have the domestic violence team and they do a whole lot more than just provide a shelter for the victims. I mean, they do a lot more. I mean, we've called you in the middle of the night to give some advice to people and stuff. But we didn't have that back then but we didn't have the amount of domestics that we've got now.
Well, the domestic violence shelter actually started in 1986. When were you born?
84.
Okay. I was born in 1986.
You probably don't want to ask him that same question.
So, anyways,
I was trying not to laugh.
but started the year I was born, which was weird. But anyways,
Did you say 86? Mm-hmm. See, I didn't even know that.
yeah, so a lot of people didn't know that. So we've had several women actually got together, and my grandmother, weirdly, so she was involved in the shelter when it first started. And of course, I didn't know any of that. But, you know, a lot of times it just became something that people were ashamed of. It was so secretive that no one, they just really didn't raise awareness on services. So law enforcement really had no idea. And, you know, there was just a gap there. So when I took over the shelter, one of my goals is first for it to not be a shameful thing to reach out. It doesn't have to be shameful. They didn't do anything wrong. But it is a vulnerable thing, and people have shame in that. So I wanted to create where that was not, you know, a barrier for people. But then also for law enforcement and emergency services to know, hey, we have services out here. To be able to call somebody from the scene and say, hey, I have a person. Can I put them on the phone with you? Because how much more helpful is that when you're right there?
So let's back up just a little bit and talk a little bit about how and why you got into this. I mean, you told the story that you're a victim yourself from a long time ago.
Yeah. So
tell us what I mean. And to me, law enforcement was a call, and I tell people all the time that I didn't pick my career in law enforcement. My career picked me.
Yeah.
And so what was the reason? Was it the fact that you was a victim, or was it just?
Well, okay. So I grew up in domestic violence. So my mom was married several times. Grew up in domestic violence. Dealt with that. Seen a lot of abuse. Had been abused. As a young teenager, you know, it's a generational cycle, just like, you know, addiction or anything else. So I fell into my own relationship that led me to the ER several times, different things. So I was in a domestic violence relationship. I got out of it. It was hard, very hard. I had to go through order protections and the court process, and felt a lot of shame from that. And so I was a young adult from the time I was 21 on, I just really moved on and pretended that part of my life didn't exist. You know, it was like not even going to think about it, going to move myself so far away from it. So I went into banking and finance, marketing and management, until, let's see, 2018, the shelter contacted me and they wanted me to help them with a fundraiser. And I went to my first board meeting, and they had lost all of their grant funding and basically was looking at having to close the doors. And they had no idea that I had experienced all that. And I didn't tell them that, but I immediately was like, God, like I wanted to run. I wanted to be like, no, I cannot get involved. Just emotionally, you know, I just thought I just got to remove myself from the situation. But kept praying about it, kept helping them, helped them with their first fundraiser. And then 6 months later, the shelter was going to have to close down. And I said, I cannot be a part of that. Like, I have to at least try. So quit my corporate job, took over the shelter. Honestly, that was 2018, where we had $120,000 budget a year, and the shelter has grown 4 times that now. We now have 2 locations. We went from serving maybe 40 to 50 people a year to now we serve over 200 and something people a year, have a $450,000 budget, and it's all community funded. And I really
Let's talk about your funding real quick, because most people don't know that you don't have grants, that you don't, I mean, your funding comes from where?
completely the community. Yes, so people giving $25 a month, $50 a month. Our county and city give some. Our county gives $15,000 a year. Our city gives $6,000. But if you think about it, that's like 2-3% of our overall budget. But which we're so thankful for. But basically, we go with the thought process is if a lot of people will give a little, then the shelter can be sustainable forever. Where when you have lots of big funders, if you pull one of those, if one of those, get in a financial situation where they can't give that year, well, then the shelter's not sustainable. So, if a lot of people can give a little, then that, it really goes a long way, and we get to serve hundreds of people. And the thing is with the shelter is we never know our needs, really. Like a family comes to us and, we have a mom and 3 right now. Well, she doesn't have a car. All 3 kids are different ages. They're, in 3 different schools.
Oh, wow.
Because of different reasons. They come to us most of the time with everything they have in garbage bags. So we don't know the needs of these children and the needs of these people until they come. So a lot of times it's hard to build a budget on that. But we have great partners that when we see a need for a kid or we see a need for a family, we reach out to certain partners or we put it on our social media, and we've never had a need that isn't provided.
Tell them about the call. Was it 2 Christmases ago?
Yeah.
The Christmas Day domestic.
Well, it was on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
So I am typically on call. So if you ever want to prank call the shelter, I'm on call most holidays. But so 2 Christmases ago, I got a call from a deputy from the county that there was a 78-year-old female. Her and her husband had a domestic. He had pulled a gun, lots of shots fired. That's actually why I think maybe it got called. I don't remember. But anyways, he had branded her with the gun. Mm-hmm. And they had been victims of a hurricane and sold everything they had and moved up here and been living off the grid in a tent for 8 months. He would not allow her to go anywhere.
In Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Oh, my
He would not allow her to leave the house at all. They had gotten into it that day because she wanted to go to the grocery store. And he had not let her leave that property in several months. Basically, food was withheld. It was just...
She was basically held captive.
Yes.
Basically, she was held captive like a hostage.
Yes. So they had been married for 20-something years, and he had started watching these and listening to these podcasts about living off the grid and all the things that he needed to do. And he'd had lots of firearms out there.
It was like a mini compound. He had defensive positions laid out. He had a small arsenal.
Did you say 78?
She was 78.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We deployed our QRF, and they had to gas him out, and we took him into custody.
And there was really no way. I took her to the property the day after Christmas to get some things, and I couldn't get my car to the property. we had to park on the side of the road and like literally walk through, like stomp through the wood.
Ruts, or I mean, like, yeah, so it was just like a wooded area.
It was way, but yeah, it was way back out in some standing timber. They had this little mini compound built, and that's where he had her, kept her there. It's crazy. That was a Christmas Eve. I thought it was Christmas
Well, I
Day,
thought
but it
y'all
was a
were
Christmas
going to
Eve.
talk about my deal, but when you said 2 years ago, well, last Christmas Eve, we had a man and a woman get into an argument. Next thing you know, she takes out a what I call the Michael Myers knife. You know, that kitchen knife that's the traditional look. And they argue all the time. And she just thinks it's a good time to stab him,
Take him out.
and yeah, you talking about kind of eerie, life flighting somebody who's just been stabbed on Christmas Eve, and you're like, well, I might be late for Christmas present.
You was
in the
actually
morning.
working on Christmas Eve?
I ain't gonna leave my people hanging.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah,
will.
don't you?
I know, and I remember that first domestic that I went to, and I could probably tell you most of them that I went to. I remember the ones that really stick out in my head. I remember I was sitting on the interstate, and I wasn't even a sheriff's. I was working for the drug task force. So I was assigned to the interstate with the sheriff over in Wayne County now, Shane Fisher, and I was sitting watching traffic. And it was probably the middle of the afternoon. I'm seeing a vehicle approaching me southbound, and they're going from lane to lane, just jerking the wheel back. I mean, all the way across both lanes of travel. And as they're getting closer, I can see them throwing punches. They're going at it, going down the highway until they come under the overpass and they see me sitting in the medium. Then, they straighten up. So I pull out. And I get up to the driver's side or the passenger side window, and the woman is just sitting there, and she's not saying nothing. And the driver, the husband, has got food all over him. I mean, on his face, in his hair, in his ear, all over his shirt. And they had stopped up the road at an exit and got McDonald's, I think it was, or Burger King or something. Something wasn't right with her order. And she went off. He
wasn't going to turn around
He
and
got
go back,
smacked
was he?
with the cheeseburger, got the Coke dumped on
They
him.
left our sauce out.
Yes, it was in a full-blown...
Get so mad.
That's
Is
exactly
that what you do? Is that what happens?
They
when
gave
you-
her barbecue instead of honey
Instead
mustard.
of ranch. Oh, man, it was a full-blown... I mean, the inside of that car, there was lettuce and crap she went off. And we took her to jail. And then as we're taking her to jail, he's complaining that we're taking him... And he had scratches. I mean, she clawed him. She was wearing him out going down the road. And he didn't want to... He was so used to it,
Yeah.
of being treated like that through the years, that it wasn't a big deal to him.
Yeah.
And I said, that's the problem. You've gotten used to this.
Well, that's kind of what happens. I mean, the thing is, kind of like going back to my story, when that's what you've grown up in, that's all you've seen, you've never seen healthy. So, these people, they don't know any different a lot of times. And then you have the opposite where, they get in a situation just like this elderly woman. Life was great until something, mentally happened, and all of a sudden, life was...
There was a trigger.
Yes, something completely changed their life.
So you brought up a term they've never seen healthy. To our listeners out there who are living in these unhealthy and toxic environments, through your experience with the shelter, is there hope for people to get healthy?
Definitely. There's definitely hope. There are way more resources now and help out there than there's ever been.
I agree.
There's ever been.
So Lawrence County, has a pretty good history of people getting involved with domestic violence victims. Judy Moore, the former chief of police for Lawrenceburg, she was one of the first police officers in the state, from my understanding, that was ever solely dedicated as a domestic violence investigator.
So, Judy Moore, when I finally had the courage to press charges for the first time, which my family came to the hospital and they said, "You're pressing charges. You're doing this." So we went to the police department and she took all my pictures. And so she printed out the laws for me and highlighted them. And she walked me through getting order of protection. She gave me her cell phone number and said if there was anything to happen, if there was an incident and a deputy showed up and told me anything different from what she was telling me, then to call her. She said, "I will come to the scene. I will talk to anybody." She's like, "I'm here for you the whole entire way."
Probably whoop somebody too if I was betting.
Yeah.
And she took that serious, and that's what I'm getting at is to our donors out there that are giving to the shelter. Just like our donors who give to the kids' place. I'm sure a lot of them do, but I'm sure there's some of them that are there that don't realize just how rich we are to have a place like the shelter and the kids' place.
Well, we've got a very giving community.
We do.
We do. We've got a giving community,
and it pays back. It's like an investment.
Yes.
You know, you're getting 10 times the amount on the dollar.
Yes.
So besides taking a young lady or a 78-year-old woman and giving them a place of safety for a night, what's something else? What's some other services that the shelter offers for?
They give free legal advice.
We're not really supposed to.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Okay, so we do a lot of court advocacy. So think about.
Yeah, she's even got her own elevator key.
Hey, you got to be special to get one of them. Yeah. Anthony Washburn, you would almost have to sign it in blood.
No.
And upon your death, it be wheeled back to his office. So if you got a key, you're something special.
So think about this, okay? You're going to court and, you know, you've had a domestic. It's taken you years to finally call the cops. You finally, you know, go through with it, call the cops, and this is the first time that you're going to see this person in court. So maybe they've bonded out, whatever. So we take them through the sheriff's department and we go up that elevator because think about if these people run into each other in the parking lot or run into their family. I mean, that causes more issues, you know, more emotional things. Anyway, so we do court advocacy. So basically we walk them through order protections. We walk them through parenting plans. You know, if DCS were to be involved, we walk them through because, you know, there's laws that DCS has where if you don't leave a domestic relationship and you keep your kids in that, then they can take your kids. Mm-hmm. So, you know, a lot of times DCS may get involved and say, you have to leave the relationship or we're taking your children. Mm-hmm. So we walk them through all of those things because it's really scary, you know, as a parent, not knowing what to do, especially if, you know, you don't have any family. And even if you do, you know, I think a lot about this. Like, while I had family, I needed somebody like Judy Moore to say, these are your rights. This is what you have to do. These are the reasons why. I needed somebody to tell me that and not just my family. And that's what we kind of come along inside of them. We basically base our whole program off a thing called case management, where we meet with them weekly and they set their goals and we walk alongside them and try to help them achieve their goals. We tell them this in case management. Climbing up a mountain is really hard, and that's the mountain of life, and we're all on it. You know, we are all on it, you know, us three, and we're all at different places up the mountain. But it's a lot easier to climb the mountain when someone is walking along with you than it is to walk alone. So we try to walk along beside them, whether they are in shelter or whether they're where we call non-res. So maybe finances and having somewhere to live is not the issue, but they're going through domestic violence and their family's in crisis. So they come to us. We meet once a week and really just try to help them achieve their goals and really start step by step. Like, these are my goals. Well, okay, let's dumb that down to this week. We're going to achieve these 2 things. And next week, we're going to achieve these 2 things. And, 6 to 8 weeks later, their life looks completely different.
So that's kind of what I was trying to allude to, is like for these non-res persons.
Yeah.
I don't know about the sheriff, but there's been more than a few times where I've responded to a domestic and she's been like, I've got to leave him, but I can't. He's the only one working. I don't have a job. We would go hungry. So I just make peace with it, or I try to make it better. Does the shelter, do y'all help with somebody who is serious about getting out of this situation, but they need a job? Do y'all help with job placement or?
Yes, we do. We do.
Locating jobs?
Yes. So several businesses partner with us. And so actually, like Jubilee partners with us, Stephanie Edwards. Mm-hmm. So she partners with us and employs several of our people that need a job, and that's within school hours. Because that's a big deal. Like if you're the only caregiver to your children, lots of Quick Mart. We have people working right now at Magna. I mean, we have a lot of people that they need a job, and not just a job. Just, what do you actually like to do? What do you enjoy? What are the hours you need? There's things like that. So yeah, we take all that in consideration, and we help them. We hold their hand, and we find a job.
They do it all.
So you can say
they do it all, Blake. That's all you needed to ask, is if they can do it all.
I don't know.
Now, the only thing they don't do, and you may have, I think I've asked you if you wanted to, is come out and work and actually respond to a domestic in progress so you can see it when it's happening. And it's probably not a good idea, because those are by far the most dangerous calls that we answer is domestic. It's simply because temperatures are already through the roof, and some of them have been going on for hours before a call was finally made. So, and then, the homeowner has the mentality that this is my house and I can do what I want to in my house on my property. But what they don't understand is when a 911 call has been placed, then we're obligated to come on that property and in that house and do what we're supposed to do. And so that even makes even infuriates them more, when you come. What was the Jackson? What was his name that worked for the city a long time ago?
Walk in and be like, "This is my house."
Yeah, he said your house becomes my house when. But that's when
911 gets
that's
called.
the mentality, and it's probably not the best thing to say.
Some of my rookies out there that want to slide into a domestic and keep things calm, I wouldn't recommend that.
No.
Because they are.
They're down. I mean, we even had a deputy shot and injured pretty bad a few years ago. Probably, let's see, I think I was...
You talking about down around Story and Lee?
It's 20 years ago, I guess. Probably close to it. I just saw him the other day. But he was shot in the line of duty, entering a house during a domestic. So they are hairy. I mean, they're very hairy, and alcohol is usually involved.
Well, up until 2005, domestic violence was the source. Domestic violence calls were the source that killed the majority of police officers that died every
because
year.
It's not just generally a husband and a wife.
Oh no!
Sometimes it's the whole family,
son and father.
It's not really funny. It's kind of funny, but it's not really funny. But it's kind of funny when I tell the story about the big domestic we had a couple of years ago. in a house on the north end, and it was Thanksgiving, maybe it was a holiday, and there was a big family gathering, and they all got drunk, and then they all started fighting, brothers and sisters and stepkids and cousins, and it was like a free for all in this house, and then somebody stepped on the dog. And the dog bit everybody. So the dog was the winner out of the whole domestic. Somebody kicked the dog, and the dog bit everybody in the house.
Good for the dog.
I think there was a couple of innocent people that got bit, but he wasn't pulling any punches, so he bit everybody. But it was, I think there was 4 or 5 people that was arrested from that one domestic. So it's not just husband and wife or something like that. Sometimes it's stepkids and parents. I think I was reading the reports this morning, and we had a couple on the reports this morning, and I think both of them was kids and parents that were.
Yeah,
it's a domestic violence isn't just, it's not just husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh no, the law, and that's one thing that I can say about the state of Tennessee, where they need to step up to the plate and update their laws in other places. Their domestic violence laws are a whole lot stronger than other states.
Ours?
Yes, ours.
Now we got ankle monitors.
Right.
And I was trying to get those numbers before I left the office to find out how many ankle monitors we've had, because I pulled our numbers for the last 6 months, just county domestic violence calls, and we've answered 182 in the last 6 months. So what's that? Somebody do the math on that. Riley, do the math on that.
182 in 6 months. Well, that's 30 a month, because 6 would go to 18 3 times.
It sounds like
30 a month.
I think when I spoke at that one fundraising banquet, I pulled the numbers from the prior 6 months, and it was 2 a day. It was right at 2 a day. But I can remember when you got like maybe 1 or 2 a week, years ago. And now we're averaging 1 a day, one and a half a day. But I tried to get the numbers of how many ankle monitoring bracelets that we put on people that's been arrested, and I couldn't get those.
When we first activated that system, oh my gosh, you talking about being in a panic, because what happens is that system would call dispatch and be like, such and such individual has violated zone 7 or zone 2, and a good friend of ours, Sheriff, was actually a domestic violence victim, and she was one of the first people around here that actually had that system.
I think she was the first.
She may have been, but you talking about being scared to death. Dispatch say, we have a violation of section, blah, 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 blah. And I'm picking up the phone, at the same time, I'm just gassing on it, trying to get to that section. And I'm like, where are you at? Are you okay? And she'd be like, well, I'm in Nashville, or I'm in Columbia, and I'm like, well, I'm showing a section violation, and it took a pretty good while to
like
get
anything.
kinks.
Like anything, you're gonna have some kinks.
But that's what I'm getting at, is we're probably not the best state in the country, but Tennessee's rocking along whenever it comes to trying to protect our victims.
I definitely think the ankle monitor, I definitely think that it helps a lot. I definitely think the no contact on their conditional bond, of course you gotta enforce that. Anyways, but I definitely think that helps. It keeps us a lot of times out of the order protection court and going through that, because really it bogs down the court system when if there's no contact and there's an ankle monitor, then we're not necessarily going to go file for an order of protection unless we feel like, okay, they violated these things, and then so it does provide protection and things that are not provided in other states. And really it's peace of mind a lot. And even for the for the abuser, for the person that they know their boundaries then. too. They can go and move on with their life differently when they know their boundaries.
See, and again, I don't know. I worked a few domestic violence cases whenever I was a detective. Didn't really. I like staying in the drug side of life, that area. But
Drug side of life.
what I'm getting at, one of the things again that I think Tennessee is doing a good job on, like the order of protection or the conditional bond. Okay, you beat up your wife before you're released from jail, and I want our listeners to hear and understand this, because I'm sure there's a lot of victims out there that would love to do something, but they're scared that they're not going to get enough protection.
Yes,
I'm sure.
And that's what they're told. I will kill you if you call the cops. Number one thing people were told. I was told as a kid.
Yeah. So
if you tell anybody, I will kill you and your mom.
So to our listeners out there, not every state is like Tennessee. Tennessee has it in the law to where if the offender violates the order of protection or the conditional bond, that is one of the very few incidences ever where we can take somebody into custody without a warrant. I don't even have to go get another warrant. I know
Still have to have probable cause,
right?
But you don't have.
But if I know that you're sitting across the street from your wife that has an order of protection or conditional bond, I don't have to go back to the courthouse and sign another warrant. I can go over there, jerk you out of the truck, carry you straight to jail.
Rearrest. That's what I tell people all the time. It's an automatic rearrest if you violate that conditional bond or that order of protection. Also, a lot of listeners probably don't know that there's a standard 12-hour hold. So once you come to jail and you're charged with domestic violence, you don't just get to make bond, even though you have a bond. Yeah. You don't get to post it until the 12 hours is up. That gives what they call a cool down period and gives the victim some time to make some arrangements and all that other stuff.
So there's a lot of times that, so in our cases, we're on call 24/7. So someone calls, maybe the person's went to jail, whatever. Well, we know, okay, we only have so many hours to make decisions, to do whatever. And that's where we help and say, okay, you tell me all the things that you need and we'll tell you immediately, what your options are, because we do it every day. So, we can talk about, all the things, but like there's been times where we've gotten people to safety, and we've gotten people out of the county even in different places immediately. That way, before they get out, everything's in place and they don't have to worry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just part of the services that y'all help.
Sheriff, did you know that there's actually a law where, and that sparked a memory, and I can't remember who I was involved with. There's actually a law that will assist getting a domestic violence victim out of their own community and actually provide them an alias. I'm talking an alternate name, identifying numbers, so on and so forth.
So do you get to pick your own name, or do they pick it for you?
Well, I mean, I don't know the situation in this case, but how weird was it for me that I had a domestic violence victim, and then somebody, is like, hey, can you step in this office and close the door? I have to tell you something that's classified. And I'm like, okay, and I go in there and close the door, and it's like, it's not her real name. She's in protective housing right now.
Yeah.
Her husband wants to kill her. We had to remove her from her community. We gave her a different name, different identifying, characteristics. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I've been a cop for don't know how long, but didn't know they did this.
Yes, there's also a thing. So we've dealt with that before. Mm-hmm. There's also a thing where they can get a protective address. And it's through the state of Tennessee. And the address is like at like a military base is where the address. So if you go to the address, you're literally going to go to the gate.
Yeah, pull up to a military base and like, nah, okay, I'm just going back home.
Yeah. Okay. So we've had some challenges as far as navigating that because it's a Nashville address. But maybe they're living here. So to get their utilities on and, to get their registration on their car and their driver's license and things like that, it needs to say their address. So we have to assist in that. That way, everybody understands. So if they got pulled over, it would look like they live at this place in Nashville, but they actually live here. So anyways, there's a lot of channels to go through, but if they are in a domestic violence shelter, they qualify.
Really? Didn't know that part.
Yep.
So how many people have you got in the shelter right now?
So right now we have, between both shelters, we have 6 women and 9 children.
Wow.
So we serve a lot of children. And that's what a lot of people, even when I took the job, I thought it would be young girls, with kids or not kids or whatever. But I had no idea that we were going to serve people all ages and so many children, sexual abuse, physical abuse, so many horrific things that these kids have witnessed.
Yeah, and you get to see. I was kind of alluding to the fact that you wouldn't come out and ride with us and go to a call while it's in progress. But she sees cell phone video of domestics. Most of the victims have recorded it in some shape, form, or fashion, and she was this has been 3 months ago, 4 months ago. She calls me up and she's telling me about this domestic that she's dealing with, and she starts telling me about what happened during the domestic. So I went by her office and she showed me the cell phone video that the victim had taken, and this guy takes a chainsaw. It looked like something out of a horror movie. This guy takes a chainsaw and saws through the door to get to her. It's the craziest thing you ever seen. Craziest thing you ever
Husband
seen.
and wife.
Yeah. See, as a young father who has a young daughter, I can just see myself just taking the position of, people should be shot for even going to the garage and picking up the chainsaw. That's, and again, as I grow older, I don't just start looking at these older women who are battered wives. I start seeing these younger girls who are battered wives, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's somebody's daughter. That's somebody's little girl right there getting her block knocked off by this idiot that can't control his emotions. That's not a man, he's an idiot. And again,
now, what if it was reversed? What if it was a woman that was beaten? Would you just call her an idiot?
Well,
or did you just do that because it was a dude?
No, the glove can be worn on. On
There is male victims. Takes a dude coming down the interstate that his wife hit him in the head with the cheeseburger.
I can name you several male victims right now, and the thing is, and what's sad is that part is they don't reach out. Because, they feel like, definitely, they feel like that it is, their job to protect themselves, and they have all this embarrassment on that. And
because their friends aren't going to give them crap,
right?
and they,
but if
it's
they
a whole
did,
another mental.
I'm sure the shelter would
100%
would assist them just as hard as they.
Have you ever had a guy in the shelter?
So not in the shelter, which I always say I would love to have a guy. Maybe he'd fix all the stuff we need. But anyways, so not inside the shelter. But we've definitely
You would make arrangements if you had a male victim.
Yep. And we do have people that reach out.
Good.
So we was going to watch some body cam or dash cam footage of some domestics, but we're about out of time.
Well, we got a lot of good information out there.
So tell people listening where they can donate, the kind of donations y'all take. So
we have a website, theshelterinc.com, and all of our resources are on there. How to give is on there. Our monthly wish list is on there. Our social media, The Shelter Inc. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. like our stuff, share our stuff. We have a monthly wish list, which is really cool because those are items we need right then, and you can just ship them straight to our shelter office. So it's on Amazon, really easy way to give. So yeah, those are simple ways, and also just be aware. I say this all the time. How many times do we walk through a parking lot or we walk through a store or we're on the interstate and we see something happen and we think we don't want to get involved?
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Well, the thing is that is the wrong way to think. Because what if you're the only person that asked that person, hey, do you need help? Mm-hmm. Or what if you're the only person that said, hey, there's resources out there, or you're the only person that called the cops and said, hey, we do a welfare check on this person.
You're preaching to it, because I tell people that all the time. Put your phone down. Mm-hmm. Put your phone down and be observant, mm-hmm. and you'll see how much you've been missing while you've been looking at your phone, especially at the gas station.
Because just like Blake said, it's somebody's kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope that somebody would be aware. I have 2 daughters, and I hope somebody would be aware and, reach out for them and advocate for them if they needed help.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you got a daughter, right?
I do.
Little girl. I know. You know what I know, and you know what we would do if somebody hurt one of our daughters.
That's it. And
they probably need to call me, not Blake.
Right, please. Please. And just reverse.
We're out of time. We got to wrap it up. I know, we got to wrap it up. Thanks for coming, Karen.
Yeah. Thanks for having
See you next time. See you
Thursday.
See you Thursday, 12 o'clock, right? Mm-hmm. Are you full?
Full.
Okay, so we don't need to tell anybody to come. All right. See y'all next time.
See ya.